Happy New Year's, folks. Welcome to our monthly progress update for December and part of the January. We made really good progress again during this period of time. And for this update, I would also like to take the opportunity to take a look back of what we have done in 2022 and present the latest status of the game development and provide a outlook for 2023 of possibly when we will start testing the game and roll out the product. All right, without further ado, let's get to the updates. So we're gonna start by talking about our metagame functions. Some of the metagame functions which we designed, but we never really get a chance to complete these functions. A lot of the work are done in December, and we are going to take a look at our production. Obviously, this is important. And following that, we're going to talk about the battle productions. And with all these, consolidating all the work in December, we will take an overview or a review of, from the very beginning till now, what is the latest status of the game. And we're very excited with our progress. And we could take a look at some of the video that we prepared. And finally, we're going to talk about the next step of what we plan to do for January and provide an outlook of what we think our schedule is. All right. So let's get right onto it. The metagame functions. So as you all know, the core gameplay, which is the planet building, harvesting, and the battle. We have spent a lot of time on these core gameplay design and implementation. But when you are talking about a full game, the game itself cannot just have these core gameplay, right? So it needs to have the supporting system or what we call the metagame functions surrounding the supporting the core gameplay. So many of the game has these metagame functions, such as ranking system, right? Achievement system, daily login rewards, right? So on and so forth. There's many metagame function that we still need to put into place. And we were able to design and develop a couple, but there are still a few more that we think we need to flesh out. So just in December, we designed a system called the decoration collection. All right, so what is the concept of decoration collection? It's a part of the overall achievement system that we're constructing, right? So imagine the player owns a piece of land and they would like to decorate the land. Notice how I mentioned before, the player could go out, harvest, and produce different decoration building. With the decoration buildings, they could put together their very unique decorations piece of land, all right? And besides decorating the land, what else can they get? So obviously, a very intuitive design is once you have certain collections, or what we call the scene collections, you will unlock a very specific achievement correspond to the type of land and the type of collection that you were able to collect, right? And this will be a one-time reward, and that will be handed out to the player who is able to collect the collections, and a special effects will be VFX will be presented as well for the scene, right? So for example, you could build in a bush, Stonehenge, a totem in a Crystal Highland. It will unlock a miracle descent achievement and a rainbow pony scene, right? So those scene design will be very specific to that collection. And if the player has multiple scene unlock, they will, only one scene can be active at a time, but they will still be able to collect the achievement rewards. All right, so that's the concept behind this design. And we kind of come up with the design. And with the design, we need to flush out the art production. So right now in total, we have about 250 decoration assets available for manufacturings and collections. So we will set up a list of combinations of pieces of these decorations to put together into an individual scene available for unlocking the achievements. So more details will follow, but we have already started production of the art assets. Now, in addition to the scene collection design, we implement the unit detail info. This is a very standard, basic functionality that kind of like a hero profile that we need to present to the player, so they could take a look in details. What are the mana? What is the health point? What is the attack HP? What is the attack and defensive matrix that's available for the individual hero? And also, what's important is each hero has the soldiers that they could command, right? So the soldiers will also carry the information that's available for the specific hero. So this has been implemented. Along with that, in the month of December, we talked about the UI design for the ranking system before, and we were able to flush out all the detailed design for the ranking system. And the concept is there's different badges that you could unlock of your ranking status. So there are leaderboards for attacking as well as building battle and building. For battle, there will be the ranking results for that your status, how you rank and correspond to a specific badge. And for building, there's a score that we will keep track of, what type of decoration building that you're able to collect, and kind of consolidate into a score, which we will rank accordingly. And as you progresses your rank status, you will be entitled to receive better rewards when you finish your battle. So the rewards such as the daily 5-star bonus and the daily 10-star bonus, right? So these, for example, when you are playing the battle, each and every star that you collect will help you accumulate and able to unlock the daily loot box that's available for you. So there's a 5-star status loot box, and there's a 10-star status loot box. And as you move along your rank, as you rank up, the content of the box will also get better. All right, and these are the badges. All right, and here's the ranking system, the actual function ranking system. All right, and wouldn't go into too much details here. Some of the wording here are placeholder, temporary. Before we launch the game, we'll polish the text or the label and the title and the name of the badge, and also the wording that we use in here. But that's the idea of the full ranking system. All right, and let's talk about the art production. So, like I said, our goal is to produce as much decoration building as possible. And now with the scene collection mechanism, we need it even more. We need to have enough decoration buildings to have enough variations, permutations, and combinations, right? So here are a couple more decoration assets that we created for the month of December, and actually part of January. And just by itself, it doesn't you probably won't see a lot of value of this, but when you actually play the building functions and try to collect your or unlock your achievements, it will become really, really meaningful. And some of the decoration building are super rare, and they are NFTs, tradables, right? So it's highly desirable, especially when you're tied to the achievement system. If we have certain rewards that we set up exclusively for these type of collections and assets, then obviously it will become very desirable for people to collect. All right, and some of the assets are very rare, and some are very common, right? You just need to spend time and effort to build and collect, right? To grind, essentially. All right. For each and every single decoration building, there's a drop rate of how it gets produced. So that's how we manage the scarcity of certain decoration building, and it will become very interesting and for someone who is into this to collect the desirable collections and unlock the same achievement rewards. All right, so I wouldn't go into all the details of all these decoration assets, but you get the idea. All right, there's a lot of it. So there are more than 250 decoration assets, and we will continue to add more if we see fit. All right, so there are still a couple more characters that we are designing. So here are two more cyborgs that we have, and four more cyborgs. My apologies. So the reason that we want to add more cyborgs is now we are getting to a point where in total we have 40 characters. So we need to balance out, which factions has more, or which faction it outweighs another, right? So in a way of balancing the game and also balancing the design of the factions, we figure we need a couple more cyborgs to be in place for the overall health of the faction design. So we added four more cyborg characters. And obviously, we talk about this. There are still a few 3D draft 3D model design that we need to flush out. So with the 3D model design, we need to have the 3D draft. And here's the 3D draft for this character. Another one. So very straightforward. I wouldn't go into the detail of this, but you get the idea again. The effort of putting all this together is very streamlined. We have a standard operating procedure for producing our art assets, like I mentioned before. This 3D draft is for this cyborg character. All right. There's just a few more. All right, and then it comes to actual 3D character. All right. Oh, and the minions or the soldiers. So the reason for these art asset output, it's a very simple art asset output. But these are the art assets, the minion art assets that we use to display in the unit detail info. So when you click into the heroes detail info, underneath the heroes detail info, you will see the minions display, right? So the way how we produce this is we take a photo of the 3D model and capture that graphics and then come up with and obviously fix it, right? Optimize it and come up with the 2D graphics of this. Just for the sake of able to present this as soldiers or minions that associate with the heroes in the detail info section, right? So that's that. And in the month of December, we adjust the animation, continue to do so. Like I said in our previous update, whenever we are designing our battle, there's a few elements to it, right? So first thing first, the 3D model, and then the animation, the VFX, and finally the sound effects, right? So if you put everything together, then you have the actual character, right? But whenever we see there is an issue with how the animation is presented in the battle, when we integrate the actual character into the game, we will revise it in a way to optimize the visual presentation, right? And we want to make sure that it makes sense and it's interesting. So it's a very subtle details to certain people, but many of the players, they probably won't notice these subtle details. But when you talk about game design, this is the detail that will stand out, right? So this is the detail that will differentiate your game from the others. So we take this very seriously. Like I said before, we take art very seriously. So that's why we are continuing to optimize these animation as we see fit. And obviously, some of the new characters that's available will also have the new animations. And there's a lot of this adjustments. So I won't go into each and every one of these, but you get the idea. This is an effort that we are continuously to optimize. And we will continue this effort all the way until the full game is launched. All right. That's the character animation optimization. All right. So these are a lot of work, actually. I mean, as you guys probably can see already, the art production alone, it's more than 60 or 50, sorry, maybe even 70 pages. But this section doesn't encapsulate all the work that we have done, which I will get into in a bit, because I would like to talk about the battle production first. And with the battle production, after the battle production, I'll go back to the building sections where there are a few building art related work I didn't mention in these sections. And the reason I put it in the latter section is because I want to consolidate everything and show you guys the overall video first, before I get into the details. So let's talk about battle production. Battle production, in the month of December and part of January, we continue to flush out some of the VFX that we see necessary, that is required for the game, right? So for example, this is the Battleground Effects that it's important, right? So this is a timer prompt that will show how many, that will alert the user that you need to be aware that the time is counting down. Another battle effects is, this is another countdown effects, right? So we will all use all that. It's not localized to English, but we use all that within the battle. Here's another one. This is the explosion that we optimize. So we have a couple of explosion effects that we are working with. And as you can see, there's a 3-tier of magnitude of explosion that we kind of consolidate into one VFX. So depending on the severity of the explosion and the damage that of the output, we will present with the proper explosion VFX. So this is another Battleground Effects. And here's another one. As you can see, there was a star that moved from, as you progress, as you pass the first defensive line, you earn a star, right? So that star that will fly all the way up to the upper right-hand corner, which it will accumulate to your daily star rewards. If you're able to collect 5 stars, you are able to unlock the 5-star loot box, and 10 stars, you will unlock the 10-star loot box accordingly. Like I said in our earlier section on the ranking reward system, as you progresses in your rank status, the content of the loot box will becomes better as well. So that kind of entice people or encourage people to collect as many stars as you can on a daily basis, no matter you're able to win the battle or lose the battle, right? So if let's say I can only collect 1 star for this battle session, and what if the following subsequent progression stops or failed? I can still have that 1 star, right? And I could try again until I collect the 10 stars. All right, so that's the VFX. And here are more character skills for the month of December. So these are the very rough sketch, the initial sketch, without putting everything together, right? So whenever we have a character, hero character, we will design a character not just with the background story of the character itself, but also its characteristics, its factions, and also its output, and what type of skills does it have. So a very interesting process, which like we said before, it's just a process of putting everything together, but iterative process of making sure you look reasonable and interesting when we place the heroes and its skill in the game. So it's a continuous optimized process, but these are some of the new ones, right? So these are the new ones that we created for the characters in the month of December. So the shield effects, as you can see. All right. So I won't go into all the details, but just to show you guys the idea of some of the artwork that's related, not artwork, but some of the mechanism, some of the production related to art and system integration, the effort that we put together when it comes to the actual battle production, right? So you're looking at a very close to completion battle system, right? So, but we have, like I said in our previous developer update, what we're doing is we have the game or the system structure developed, but what we're doing is we're filling in all the content, right? So we're mass producing the heroes, producing the skills and also the VFX, and kind of put everything together, right? And while we're at it, we will continue to optimize the battle, right? So that's the rationale behind our development effort. So with that, I would like to talk about the full progress review. This kind of get to the point where, we're getting really close to the launch time. And just to show you guys, when we 12 months ago, or maybe 13 months ago, when the very first time we present our development status and updates, if you were able to go back and watch some of the video, we have gone from a sketch of the planet to almost a full game that we have now, right? So it's a tremendous progress, a very exciting results that we have now. It's a very, very competitive game, we think, that we have for Velhalla. If you compare this game to some of the popular games out there, number one, you probably won't find another game like this where it has the planetary system design, and it has the building aspect and the harvesting aspect design on top of this planetary system. And this planetary system is integrated into the blockchain where the valuable assets are tradable. Along with that, there is a mechanism for you to manufacture your units, your army, create your own decoration buildings with the proper harvesting effort. And then once you have the army, you can put together with the tactical force on the defensive side, but also on the offensive side to help you battle and earn the rewards. So just think about that, right? So it's a very comprehensive game, and it's a very difficult journey that we think it's very hard to get to the point we're at right now for many studios. It's not easy. So we are very proud of the status, and we are very proud of the progress. So this is the latest deploy harvest unit video that I would like to show you guys. So you could go from your home base and deploy your unit, go out there to do the harvesting, right? So like I said before, we have a space shuttle that you could deploy from your home base and do the actual harvesting. And just think about when the very first time we present this home base as a very rudimentary 3D model. At the time, we even think about using the island, a floating island, but instead we came up with this space shuttle design, which we are very, very proud of. All right, so let's take a look at this another video, which is building on the home base shuttle, right? So you could zoom in and you could start building. And as you can see, we added the animation to the individual building, and it becomes more and more visually appealing, and it's very polished, actually. So obviously with this game account, user account, it has a lot of assets, so that's why it's able to come up with a unique design in a way that and it has a very valuable decoration assets here. All right, so it's very polished now. If you compare at the very beginning where we first talked about the home base, right? So at the time, we don't have any buildings that's available. We even thinking about what's the size of the grid. So we came a long way, and we are very proud of I would say this is the final results. All right, and building on the planet. So this is the video that I would like to show you guys. Look at this. Just look at this image and graphics. This is amazing, right? This is spectacular. So on the Crystal Highland, I'm able to collect all these decoration assets. Notice how this tie into the scenery collection that we talked about in the previous section. So everything will be put together into the building efforts on the planet, right? So like I said, it's getting very close to 100%. But yet there are still optimization that we still need to do. But this is something that we're very, very proud of. Very proud of. Imagine when you are able to collect all this and manufacturing all this and build on this land puzzle and unlock spatial rewards as an achievement. So this is something that is very very fun to play. All right. And let's take a look at the defensive deployment. On the battle, as we mentioned in the past, there is a defensive side of effort, and also there is an offensive side of effort. So for defensive side of effort, we develop a mini game editor for players to edit their own defensive lineup, right? So just imagine you become a game designer, right? So once you collect the blueprint and put together on the land, you could actually place different units and different buildings on top of it, and to help you set up your defensive lineup. The better the building, the better the landscape, the better the heroes will help produce the better results of defensive lineup. And once you place your unit on top of it, you could do a quick preview of how your battle is designed, like we mentioned in the previous update. And you could, trial run your effort to see if it makes sense, and revise it. All right. And if you don't play a lot of game, I would like to use this opportunity to talk about this piece of concept. This piece of concept, some people call it sandbox type of gameplay, or some people call this user-generated content, right? So there are games that are user-generated. So for example, like Minecraft, right? So the reason Minecraft has gotten really popular is because it allows the player from all over the world to create their own piece of materials, a part of the materials from within the game. And the notion behind user-generated content is because as a developer, studio developer, you can only do so much, right? So we see many games that backlog their game content and delay their game content production, right? So, or schedule or output. So if you open this up to the general public, in a way, you're inviting the gamer to participate as being a part of the design team, right? So you can scale out even more, having all these different type of players join you to help you design your game, and it will enrich your game design further. It will take your game design to the next level in terms of volume, right? So this is important, right? So it's just a different methodology that to take on. So this is the sandbox aspect of the Velhalla project, right? So we allow you to collect, we allow you to build, not just on the building side, planet building side, but also as well as on the battle side, which it will make this game even more fun and enticing, right? All right, so Now, let's take a look at, in combination of all these effort, let's take a look at the final video, which is the combat battle. And notice how the overall structure is the same, right? But we added a few more characters from December, the VFX, the skills and everything, right? So I would like you guys to take a look at this brief video on the latest battle, which similar to the past video that we have, but it has the new characters that we designed. This particular skills, as you see, it groups your enemy together, okay? So it's a very special skills. And like we mentioned before, we would like to present this game as visually as a piece of game that that show you visually the volume, right? Not the individual character. So we have actually tested the performance of the game. We could actually have 50% more soldiers on the field. So just imagine if all these soldiers are within the battle, it will look like an two army collision, right? So it will be very something that's very interesting to achieve, right? So you could collect a very special hero, upgrade your special heroes. As you upgrade, the number of soldiers increases to help you battle. All right, so this is something that a player can look forward to, right? You collect, you build, and you elevate the status. All right, very, very polished now. So we are very proud of this effort, and looking forward to releasing this this game and have you guys play it and give us some comments and suggestion further down when we have the alpha test. All right, so that's the comeback demo. And as you can see, it's a journey that this is nothing trivial, and this is not something that could be easily done by anybody. And many game developers will probably spend a lot more time, or I would say effort, creating something like this, a very comprehensive game. Like I said, with the building, the harvesting, and the battle. On top of that, with user-generated aspect of content aspect of it. So we are very proud of this, and we are getting really, really close to the launch. So with that in mind, let's talk about our next step. What is our next step? So let's talk about the visual aspect of this. So we mentioned about the scene collections, and it unlocks special decoration achievements. Sorry, the scene achievements. Also, there are animation that's required for each and every asset. Okay, so this is some of the visual aspect of it we'll continue to do for the month of January. We want to put everything together and make it even more interesting to collect. All right, so almost every one of these assets, decoration assets, has the special VFX. All right, so we will continue to work on this as we move along. Along with this, there are still a couple more meta game functions that we're working on, right? So like related to land, so we have the rental functions, right? Some of the upgrades polish that we still need to do. So there are still a few more metagame functions that we need to work on, and the battle log, right? So all these are not the rudimentaries, but they make the game complete, right? So we have a list of around 7 to 8 metagame functions we still need to flush out. And once we flush out all these metagame functions and complete them, we will start having an overall testing and optimization. Notice again, this game needs to be on not just on PC, but also on the mobile phone. So that's why we still need a bit of time before we could actually release our first alpha test to the general public. So stay tuned for more, and make sure you join us, continue to join and support us in the subsequent effort. All right, we will talk soon. Thank you.